Hi and welcome back to my channel. Today I've got my second Beebeecraft make and from the recent unboxing, and that was with all these gorgeous beads. My previous project was this gorgeous beaded mandala, and I just really love doing that, and I said I would show you what I did with it, and I've actually sewn it onto a metal ring like this, and I'll be hanging that up. So it was really easy to do. Just you know, pick a spot on the doily where you want to sew round, and it came up really pretty. It stretched really nice. I was really happy with it. So that's what I did with the previous doily, and it just looks stunning. I love how it sparkles and shines. So today I'm going to do my second Beebeecraft make. Now, if you haven't seen Beebeecraft, all the product links will be below for what I'm using here today. The holeless beads, the beautiful rhinestone Shank buttons, these blue pack, the clay beads, the big bumper pack of sequins, and this set of dotting stencils. That's what I'll be using again today, and I picked another stencil that I liked. They come in 3 different sizes. Okay, so I'm going to use the middle size one today. My previous one I used a different stencil, but I used the larger one. So this one I'm going to use today because I'm going to do a touch smaller one. Now, I will have a few extras, and they're from Beebeecraft as well. There'll be these sequins and some of these golden beads, and they're all from Beebeecraft as well. Alright, let's get organized here. Now, I'll just move this mat for a second because I have picked another doily for this make, and I want to mount that into my hoop here. Now I'm just make sure you see what the front and the back of the doily is. Okay, I've got that in my hoop. Now I'm going to put my dotting stencil on, and like the previous video, I've got a disappearing pen, and I'm just going to eyeball this and mark all those. I won't do the very outer, but I'll mark all the rest of the lines. Okay, we've got that all marked, and that is the job of our stencil done. And this disappearing pen will, like I say, it disappears. Now, some of this one I wanted to make freeform, so I'm just tighten that back up because I made that a tad loose. Okay, so I've got some of this netting here, and a section of this I want to make freeform. So I'm going to use netting to hold those beads that have no hole down. Okay, it's just a tiny little bit of netting there, and it's a bit hard to see on camera, but what I want to do is sew that section down. Okay, I've set my hoop up on my little table clamp. I've got my little piece of netting here, and I want to choose a section on here that I want to sew that down. Now, I've also gone and like before, I've done a little mock-up of what I want on here, just the main beads. And the half of this circle here, or this dot mandala sort of print, I'm going to do freeform, and the other half I will do in the traditional like mandala style. So I'm just going to I'm just taking note of this cross here that you can see more detailed lines in, and that's the one I'm going to follow. And I'm just going to just put some little tacking stitches in to keep that little netting, that little net. And I might because this comes right out to here, I'll cover up some of those little tacking stitches as well with decoration. So I'm just going to tack this down, and I'll be back when I've finished that. Okay, I've sewn around this half and up to the middle, and before I close this off, I'm going to get my scoop out, and I'm going to put some beads in that netted area. Some of these beads that don't have holes. Come on, you get in there. Oops, might put a few of the larger ones as well. And let's just get some of these gorgeous beads in there, and I'm going to move them around as I sew bits and pieces. So I'll just put a few more little ones in. Come on, stay on my scoop. Okay, I think that might do, and I will sew the rest of that up then. Okay, now I've got this section all sewn. I'm just going to clip back that netting, so it's only just got that section on it. And the little stitches and the netting that goes, you know, over, that's going to get covered up by a lot of the beads, so I'm not too worried about that. But I do want to see, there's a little pattern on the doily, and I sort of do want to see that around the outside. So I tried not to sew on that. Okay. And there we go. Just tighten that up. Right, so we've got our little section sewn in. That is the job of our little holeless beads, so I can sort of sit them aside. Now I can manipulate these little beads around, and just however I sew these in, I can just move them around and place them where I want them. Right, now what I'm going to do now is probably I might leave this section and do the formal part of the mandala, and that's the part that, you know, repeats itself all the time like we did in the last video. I've already got some beading thread threaded up here, and I will get that going. Okay, we're going to get one of these gorgeous rhinestone shank buttons out and do the same as the previous mandala, just so they match, because I want these to be a matching pair when I finish them and hang them up. So I'm going to attach that on, and like I did with the other one, I'm going to sew all those little sections down so that it stays in place. Right, so we've got that little shank button on nice and firm, and that's not going anywhere. Right, it's time to look at the pattern and how I sort of figured that I wanted it. And it's good to do a mock-up on the plastic and then take a photo, then you can sort of see where you want to go with it. And I know I want these main bits and pieces on here, and then we'll fill it in with lots of good stuff. Okay, I've got my main parts of this gorgeous mandala on, and that the traditional side of it, and then I'm going to fill it in with some bits and pieces as well. Now I want to put a couple of these flowers on. These are just gorgeous. They're from Beebeecraft as well. So our little first repeat, we're going to put some clay beads on, and I've chosen the lightest coloured one in this pack. We're going to then get our little leaf sequins, which are just amazing, absolutely amazing. I'll just put a little pile down here because we'll use a few of them. If you're into bulk things, look on Beebeecraft, because I bought that pack bulk and they are amazing. They are amazing. So I'm going to put a little leaf either side of here. Okay, and next round I'm going to put some little two little faceted beads on, I think, and I'll put them so they come off this line here, out from that little blue flower. Okay, now we are going to add some of these little darker blue clay beads in between spaces. Okay, our next round we're going to come up at the end of this one and put a little green clay bead on. And I like these little sea glass beads, they're so pretty. So pretty. So we'll add that onto there. And then in between the middle of each of these blue clay beads, I'm going to add two little green leaves. Now these are Beebeecraft products, but they were from a different make. And they're just gorgeous. They are like the other little ones, but just a different colour. So I'm just going to put two little leaves there, fanned out in that section. Okay, next round I'm going to put a darker clay bead on here, a nice navy blue, and I'll put a nice lighter blue on top just to soften it, and then we miss that bead and go back down through it like that. And then next to that I'm going to put a turquoise coloured one, and we'll put, okay, so we'll do that, and then while we are there we're going to put on some bugle beads. That one's a bit longer than it should be. Okay, so we'll bring out our bugle bead as well, just so it matches in with the previous one. Okay, the last round on this is just to put 2 of these dark ones in, and I probably should have done that while I was doing the rest of it. Now we've got our freestyle side where I want to just put whatever. But before I do that, I think what I'm going to do is get rid of these lines, because then I'll be able to get a better picture of what it's going to look like. Remember, some of these are plastic beads and sequins, so you don't want to put too much heat on, just enough to make that pen disappear. Right, now we're on to the freestyle side. Now that's getting rid of that pen mark, helps then now to have a good look of what I've got to play with. So I want to mix some of those big beads in with the little ones. I don't want them all, yeah, that's better. Look, I got this pack from Beebeecraft, and I'm thinking of sort of just weaving it in around here, and I'll just use some silver because that will then match in with everything that we've been using. And that back in the pack, I saw sorts of beautiful colours in that, so I'll just take the first couple off because they tend to fall off anyway, don't they? And we'll glue that end down. I want this just to snake around, so I'm going to just come up and anchor that first one down. Like that. And we can just hide that extra thread in behind there. And I want to get some of these smaller ones up there too. Let's put this down flat so I can manipulate it. So I'm just going to snake this around, and I'm just going to section off some of these holeless beads so that there's little pockets of them. Now, to finish our freeform section, we're just going to put bits and pieces wherever. I'm just going to come up in random places. Right, and I think I might leave it at that. I mean, you could go further and put all sorts of, other bits and pieces on, but I don't want to overcrowd it. It's only a small doily. Okay, let's take this out of the hoop. Now I've cleaned up my mess, and we'll have a look at what we've got. Okay, this is what our half doily has come out like. It's quite chaotic on this side and very formal on the other side. That's how I wanted it to look, and I've used that netting then to enclose all those little beads that don't have holes in it. So it's quite busy on this side. So what I'm going to do now is I've got a little hoop that is an applicable size to this doily. I'll sew it on, and then I'll come back and show you the finished product. Right, I now have my doily, finished doily, onto this frame, or this ring, and I've just quickly sewn that on where it stretches it out to a nice, stretched shape. You can see the pattern of the doily, and I have both my ones now finished. Aren't they gorgeous? Now, just to recap, I've put the net down and I've put these little holeless beads under the net, and that's my part, that half. If you block that half off, you can see it looks like a big mess, but it's not. It's an organized chaos. And that is the freeform part of that, and then on this side you can see the formal part of the mandala. So the holeless beads, these gorgeous rhinestone shank buttons, this huge pack over here. It was a huge pack of sequins, which I just love. I've put them in a smaller one here, so if you're looking for bulk, pop over to Beebeecraft. There was these beautiful set of blue beads, all different kinds in there that I've used. This set of clay beads, all in blues and greens, which are just gorgeous for this sort of thing. And I also used these set of dotting stencils, which you can totally use for your stitching, not just painting. You can totally use that to segment off your stitching, make a mandala, embroidery, bead embroidery, whatever. Just think outside the box when you're using these stencils. So those are the products from Beebeecraft this time, which were totally amazing. Thank you, Beebeecraft, for allowing me to do that. And if you look up on screen, there'll be a coupon code Valida10. You can put that in at checkout. Now, all the products I've used here that you can see today are down below in the description box. You can find all them in Beebeecraft. So look, I'm really happy with my two pieces of artwork. Aren't they stunning? They are stunning, and I just love this chaotic side. It just adds another dimension to this little project, and I just love it. Right, thank you for watching, and I will be back for a new make real soon. Hopefully it will be my Ocean to Outback, or my travel log. Alright, so if you're new here, this is a Beebeecraft make, and this was my previous make here. Oh, I can't catch that bead. And this was the second make for Beebeecraft. Alright, like, share and subscribe. Leave me a comment below. Check out all those links below to Beebeecraft. They sell some amazing products, and I have never had problems with Beebeecraft. And I will catch you real soon. Bye.